let's talk about something that I didn't ever think I would need to like talk about because I never imagined that I would have anything worth enough to get insurance for. But this is kind of boring, but also kind of interesting. I started getting Pokemon big time back in January 2024 with my kiddo. I got really into it again. Perfect timing, perfect storm. Everything blew up in value. My 15 to 20 grand over probably 2 or 3 years that I put into it has exploded to over $130,000 worth of shiny cardboard. Obviously, I don't want to lose that money, right? I don't want to have my house burn down and lose all that money. I don't want to have somebody rob me or have flood damage or just some random crazy ass thing happen to my super valuable collection now. And so I was really nervous all the time. I was like, oh, like I still am a little bit. Like it's like, oh, what if somebody like tries to rob me, or what if somebody, what if my cat gets in there and fucks up all my shit? Like I don't know, right? Like so I looked into it and, I perused around the internet and, looked up what the best, because I didn't even know like if companies would insure collectibles, right? But then I was like, well, like, card shops and shows and things like that, like, they have insurance, right? For their business, I assume. So like, surely that's something that exists. And I'm not affiliated or sponsored in any way. Not yet, at least anyways, obviously. But I would highly suggest if your collection is getting to the point where it is worth a lot of money, like with anything, like with a house or a car or whatever, you should probably get insurance. I know it's not a big, fun, sexy conversation, but neither is losing a lot of money, right? Which at the end of the day, I love collecting for the aspect of collecting, but I'm not, going to be an idiot or ignorant to the fact that like my collection is worth a lot and that I, ideally will want to sell it at some point, whether it's now or later. Crazy things happen. Life happens. Chaos happens. Disaster can strike. And so it's one of those things where I was like, I need to get insurance for it. And so I did. There's a lot of different ones out there. The best one that I was able to find, it's called CIS, like Collectible Insurance Service or whatever. And so I went through them. It was a really easy process. I just like asked for, like, I gave them my info, collection value and everything like that estimated. And they gave me a quote, and it was like, so my collection is worth around 130K. At the time when I was getting this, it was 110. That just goes to show you, like, over the last fucking month, it's insane. And I did that a month ago. But for $110,000 worth of like insurance on my collection, as long as I have photos and video, like proof that I have it, and I have logs, and I've logged all my shit for the most part, you're good. Like that is proof enough to be able to show them, and they will, in theory, pay out whatever you would be owed if something bad happened to your collection. Hopefully not. That would suck. I don't ever want that to happen, but again, like better safe than sorry. But for 110K or like 112K in coverage, it was like $500. I know that might sound like a lot to other people, to a lot of people. Honestly, like it did sound kind of like a lot to me, but then I'm thinking about like the ratio of that compared to what my total collection is worth. That is fucking pennies. That is peanuts compared to that, right? $500 a year I paid, right? I could bump it up at probably like $600 at this point for the remainder of how my collection's grown. Haven't quite done that yet, but like that's not bad at all. Like that's, about the amount or less of certain car insurance policies that are worth a hell of a lot less than that, what my collection is worth. So just a little, reminder that, if you've been thinking about it, like I would say go for it, right? I would say go for it. It's not going to protect you from loss if your stuff loses value. Like that's just part of the game. But if like something bad happens and it gets stolen or your house catches on fire or whatever, right? Any horrible things that could happen, you're good, right? And for me, like I'm not an anxious person, but when it comes to stuff like that, I can be. And so like it has given me so much more peace of mind that at least in some form, I'm covered, right? Even if insurance was like, I'm not paying out everything that we would owe you because we don't have perfect XYZ proof of whatever, cool, whatever. Like I do have perfect proof of like a big chunk of my collection as far as sealed and graded and stuff like that. And even if they only paid out that, which they should pay out like all that they would owe me. But even if they only did that, and that's something that you're concerned about, like $500 to ensure that like, $50,000 of my collection is like guaranteed to come back to me. Again, super fucking worth it in my mind, right? So, yeah, look into getting some collectible insurance. If you got in at the right time and your collection has exploded in value, or if you're thinking about getting into the Pokemon collecting game, like on the higher end, probably worth doing.